Growing up, I dreamt of the traditional lifestyle, finding a hot wife, owning a modest home, and having 2 or more kids I see just enough. Well, in modern times, you're lucky if your parents still let you live with them, and if by chance you still have a good enough relationship with your baby mama to avoid child support. In this video, let's spend some time, sit down together, and discuss the average life of the middle-aged degenerate. And if you personally find yourself falling in this category, or you just simply enjoy my daily doomer commentaries over here on the page, then don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, opinions below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to the handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content right here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
The United States is about to break and nobody is willing to talk about it. If we as a country don't make a change here, we are cooked. The media doesn't give it the attention it deserves. Politicians won't say it out loud, but our country, it's drowning in over $36 trillion in debt. And here's the terrifying part. We're now spending more than $1 trillion a year just to pay the interest. Not the debt itself, just the interest. It takes my breath away whenever I talk about it. Imagine you maxed out your credit card that you have, then took out more just to cover your monthly payments. That's what we're doing as a government and as a country. And when the bill comes due, it's you who's going to pay the price. Higher taxes, slash services, or worse, God forbid, a financial collapse that would make 2008 look like a hiccup. If we don't change course here, folks, if we don't stop printing money, overspending, and kicking this can down the road, your future, our future, won't be stable jobs and affordable homes. It'll be layoffs, rent that you can't afford, and retirement accounts that don't mean anything. Heck, some of you are saying right now, I'm already feeling the effects. They'll try to distract you with these headlines and drama, but this is the real threat we are facing, and nobody's coming to save us. I'm curious. What do you think about this?
Now, it's such a common human trait to blame somebody else for all the stuff you've caused and had done wrong that it almost seems like it's just not even a personal problem. It's not even a generational thing. It's just who we are as animals. We're just selfish beings. But I don't think that's always the case. And I feel like, the more time goes on, the more we're trying to fix these types of issues within ourselves. But the people in charge, people on top, people in power, they never seem to even, ponder on what it'd be like to not live that way. And it feels like the people that are on top, they're there for a reason. They're selfish, they're self-centered, and they want to be on top. They will do anything it takes to get there despite trampling over anybody else that's below them, which is the majority of people in the world and the population that exist. And so you and I, who are continuing to get trampled over by the people on top, it feels like they're all older people. So we just paint baby boomers as the overall issue, when there's a large majority of baby boomers who are barely making their social security checks stretch. They still got to work part-time, if not full-time, to even make the bills, happen. And they'll never have this whole idea of retirement that we never really thought would happen for us. We never really, accepted that. They actually thought this was possible. They accepted this. They're like, this is my future. Now getting there, they're now living in their future. And it's not the dystopia that they originally pondered on. There's no flying cars. We only went to the moon once, if that ever really happened. And the economy is more fucked than they initially thought it would be around now. Debatably, 2008 was a hiccup in terms of what many people are living in right now. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's what some people might, question. Now, I think maybe the boomers didn't purposely fuck up the whole economy. They might just thought everything's, they were just living the life they're living, everybody objectively together in one whole group. Ended up making the system that now people nowadays, Gen Z, millennials, are now these new age adults. We're finding ourselves having to pay the bill for what the boomers, ended up getting all the reward for. So all the sacrifice now that we're giving, where's our reward? And we only see our future generations being more fucked than we are. So it's not that surprising that these new generations completely grown up and thriving off of this negative connotation of the world sucks, everything's collapsing, and there's no hope. Of course we're going to live the way we're living, not having kids, spending all our money on bullshit, and then people who sell the bullshit price it at prices that are so objectively outrageous that it's not even worth anything ever. So you just end up not doing anything. Now you stay at home, you do some of the free subscriptions to get a month or 2 or 3 months off Netflix, Spotify. Now you're just stay at home. Now you're own nothing and be happy, just like the way they wanted. So is this all a system in play in the works that's meant to be this way? Or is this just stupid humans just going with the course of everybody else, following the herd, being sheep, and ending up in a shitty situation within the chopping block? What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments.
Is the hardest it's ever been for a 30-year-old in Australia, in Australia's history. It is true 30-year-olds are going to be less well off than their parents are. That's a fact. It's a fact that when I was 30, the house cost me 3 times my salary. Now, 8 times plus for a 30-year-old is what it's going to cost you to get into the housing market. It's true that HECS has doubled in the last 15 years, right? Doubled from a $15,000 bill to a $30,000 bill. It's true that a baby boomer paid half the tax that a 30-year-old pays now when they were 30 years of age. So the reality is it is extremely difficult to be a 30-year-old in Australia right now.
Now, as struggling as the average American you always hear complain about is, or as great as they're doing, you really only hear one or the other. You never hear an American say, I'm doing just fine. I'm not great, I'm not bad, I'm just fine. You never hear that. They're always struggling, they're broke, they're homeless, or they're on top of the world, they own everything. Please buy something from me. That's what they'll say. But, because, that's why they got there. Capitalism, right? But it's not just an American problem. As much as Americans want to make themselves the whole reality and the main face center of the world, that's not always the case. The vast majority of the world is struggling far more than we are. And even other first world countries, like Australia or even, Canada, a lot of them are struggling far fast more than we are. I mean, their taxes, their percentage rates might even be, ours might feel light compared to some of those people, depending on which province they're from or which country. All these things add up. So definitely got to take a step back sometimes, kind of stop looking in the mirror so much and realize you're not the only person in the world. But at the same time, all the stuff you're dealing with is true. It's still a raw reality. And maybe it makes you feel better knowing, like, oh, there are other people in other parts of the world struggling like I am. It's not just a me thing. Or maybe you're like, damn, I can't even escape this place. If I go there, everywhere's fucked. There's no escaping this. This is just the raw reality of hell that we're living in, being alive. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is just a doomer commentary type of topic, or do you think this is just what it is?
Millennials and under, we're fucked, right? We're the first generation that's going to do worse than our parents statistically, you know what I mean? Which sucks, but the worst part is that our parents think it was because they were so smart. You know what I mean? I can't stand that. I'm tired of hearing it from baby boomers, right? Like, their lives were so easy. You could just win a house at a carnival back then, you know what I mean? Just some guy like, oh, nice, a 3-bedroom, awesome. Honey, we're moving again. Yeah, have you ever tried to get advice from them about a job? They're like, well, did you look him in the eye and shake his hand? And it's like, yeah, I did that. Like, well, that's how I became the vice president of Circuit City, so I'm out of ideas. They don't think we're children, too. These millennials spending all their money on lollipops. It's like, okay, I need a CPAP machine, actually, but... And these lollipops have weed in them, by the way, so... A little more expensive than you might think. Yeah, sucks. They ruined the world, global warming.
Now, my favorite types of comedy are the comedy sets that touch on some raw reality, like... It's funny. They're jokes because they hit home and there has some, like, truth in it. And the best jokes always have a hint of truth hidden within them. And these days it's not so hidden. Everybody's just like, damn, that dude's up there preaching. He's spitting the truth. He's spitting what we all feel and live and what our reality is day to day, what we see throughout our eyes and pay for throughout our wallets. And it's just crazy to think how it's like a lot of the blame getting put on the older generation. We're going to be the older generation eventually. So do you think eventually the new Gen Alpha is going to blame Gen Z millennials? We're going to be the shitty baby boomers that we look at them as? Or are we going to be the ones to come and save here and fix the mess that the baby boomers caused for us? And then the Gen Alphas are going to look up to Gen Z millennials like, oh, you did it. You're our savior. I don't know. Let me know down below in the comments. Is this just a never-ending cycle of generations hating each other? Is this just a constant blame game that you've probably seen in your family and everybody else around you? What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Well, guys, that's going to wrap up another video discussing the corruption of the world, how the government controls you, and how the money you have, that green paper, whatever color it is, wherever you are, pretty much is worthless, means nothing, but the value you put on it, that's all that matters. Anyway, feel free to let me know anything you think regarding anything discussed in today's video, as well as anything else you'd like to hear me touch on and discuss in future uploads. A huge shout out to the handful of you guys. Check out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. And a huge shout out to you guys who continue checking out these videos, showing up daily, and hopping into my daily evening live streams from 3 to 5 p.m. Central Time every day. Definitely appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to check out my long list of catalogs. We just hit over 200 uploads on here, so we're going strong. Yeah, that's great. So appreciate you. Love you. That's it for me today. See you next time. Bye.